Christian, explain this to me. Right, you've got an American soldier wounded by the Japanese, pretty much disabled, on the floor, technically surrendered, and the Japanese soldier comes to him, takes his knife out and slits his throat, showing no mercy. And on the other side, literally on the other side, you've got Desmond Doss character there, and he sees a Japanese soldier wounded, similar scenario, but instead he tends to the guy and heals him. And he does more than that. Actually, he throws over a lot of other Japanese soldiers down to the medics down below for medical care. I mean, how do you make sense out of this? Why would Desmond Doss forgive those Japanese soldiers and look after them when they're murdering his friends?
It doesn't make sense. And I can't remember anybody ever threatening me at gunpoint or trying to slit my throat or shooting at me. But I can remember people that have hurt me. And, going out of my way to help them is probably not what comes to mind when I think about them. On top of that, you come to the Bible, and Jesus tells his disciples, his followers, to love your enemies, to do good to those who hate you, to pray for these kind of people that use and abuse you. In Matthew chapter 18, one of Jesus' disciples actually asks him, how many times should I forgive somebody that hurts or offends me? 7 times? That's a lot, If someone offends you 7 times in a day, well, they're really pushing their luck.
Sure.
And Jesus says, times that by 70. 7 times 70, 490 times a day. So how do we do that when sometimes people hurt us so badly? I mean, in Hacksaw Ridge, we see that vividly. It's a question that I think we battle with, that we struggle with. But I think we need to, before running out and trying to forgive and forget and failing hopelessly, we need to explore what the word forgiveness means. Now, when you think of forgiving, what comes to mind? How do people generally think of forgiveness?
Yeah. So it simply means to accept what has happened and move on. Forget.
Get over it.
Get over it.
What was the one they used to do as kids? Build a bridge?
That's right.
Something like
Build
that?
a bridge.
Build a bridge, get over it sort of thing, yeah. But there's more to forgiveness than that. I think there's a 2-part process to forgiveness. And often we mix, we combine the two, and we shouldn't. The first is the forgiveness part, and we'll define that in a moment. And the second is reconciliation. It's restoring the friendship. So if you talk behind my back, which I know you never do, look, I've eavesdropped on your phone before, and you've always been respectful towards me. But if you were to backstab me, to talk behind my back, what do? Do I forgive and forget and pretend like nothing happened? That's how people imagine forgiveness. No, us being friends again, that's reconciliation. That's step 2 in this process. Forgiveness is the first part.
Right.
And the word forgiveness comes from the concept of releasing somebody from a debt. That's why in the Old English language, the Lord's Prayer said, forgive us our
debt.
Our debt. Not our sins or trespass, forgive us our debts. If you hurt me, my first reaction is to expect that you owe me something.
Right.
You've hurt me, what do you owe me? How do I feel? What do you think it would be? What do you think I'm expecting you or back from you?
Well, I can't take it back, can I? It's done.
The history is done, yeah.
Right. So if I can compensate you in some way, that would be nice.
Compensation, usually, yeah. An apology, at least, to start off with.
And that too. I'm not very good at this.
No, you need to practice. Yeah. So an apology and then compensation, and then sometimes we even want the other person to suffer a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? In other words, this person owes something to me for hurting me. Genuine forgiveness, the first stage in it is to say, you know what? You don't owe me anything. What you did, that's between you and God. That's your problem. I don't expect anything from you. If you choose to apologize, wonderful. If you choose to compensate, great. If you want to start this process of reconciliation, beautiful. But you don't owe me anything. And the reason is, when I look at my life, at my mistakes, at my errors, at my selfishness, you know how God treats me? He forgives me. I come to him in prayer and he says, I forgive you. I've given my son to pay for that, to die for that, and I wish we could explore that now. If you want to learn more, go to the study guides. It unpacks what I'm talking about. But God treats us like that. He doesn't hold it against us when we ask for forgiveness, and he says, I want you to do the same to others. Don't hold it against them. When the other person is sorry or regretful or tries to make amends, that's when the relationship can start to be healed. But I don't have to wait until they're sorry for me to release the person from a debt. for me to let go of the baggage, let go of the revenge. Revenge is really saying, I want you to hurt like you hurt me. Release them from the debt that they owe you, from the apology, from the revenge, from the pain I want you to suffer. That's between you and God. Let God deal with that. I no longer hold a grudge. I no longer have anything against you. And that's what forgiveness genuinely is. Reconciliation happens sometimes, not always. Reconciliation is up to you if you've offended me, but not the forgiveness. I can be at peace. I can sleep at night. I can look you in the eye and genuinely care for you because that's what God has done for me.
I have a question for you. Can I borrow $20,000?
No.
Thank you.
But if you would like to know more about forgiveness, faithofdoss.com, click on the study guide link, and there is a specific study guide on forgiveness. How does God forgive me? We sometimes have regrets for the past. We've done dumb things. We've hurt other people. We've hurt ourselves. We've let others and ourselves and sometimes God down. How can I experience God's forgiveness? When I experience that, then I can learn and discover and really be able to forgive others as well. So you'll find out more about that in the study guides.